Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Lazar. I am the president of the Convenience Marketing Group here in Pittsburgh. Welcome to our podcast. As we open this up, this podcast is for three specific groups of people. The first would be if you're a executive or a leader of a convenience store today. Second, if you're an executive or a leader of a convenience distributor. Or thirdly, if you manufacture or make things to sell into the convenience store channel, this podcast is for you. And we approach this podcast with a specific premise, and that is if you want to differentiate your products or your services in the convenience channel to grow future customers and sales with higher margin, then this is a podcast for you. Now, today's topic, one of the things that I wanted to cover with this particular podcast is the title of this is called 17 Reasons You Don't Use Marketing to Grow Your Convenience Store Sales and Customer Counts. Now, this particular podcast is focused mostly for retail convenience store operators, owners, executives. However, some of the concepts here apply also to distributors and also to manufacturers. Now, these are 17 that I've listed. There's probably more out there that you might be able to think of, and I'd love to hear your feedback on them. But there are 17 reasons that I can come up with that there are reasons why people do not market their stores today. Now, obviously, I think this is a mistake, and I say that because of my experience both on Sheetz and Wawa and some other players, bigger players that I helped with marketing and driving customer counts and margins and sales in these retail settings. So there's 17. I want to start with them. I'll give a little bit of commentary on them, but then I'm going to end with some good news and some things you can think about as far as getting your retail convenience stores to put together a marketing plan to drive your sales and margins. So the first reason that retailers do not use marketing, retail marketing to drive their sales is they simply do not know where to begin or how to begin. They probably most likely never have been exposed to this. They've never had a marketing plan in their hands. They've never helped develop a marketing plan for a retailer, so they simply don't know where to begin. That's okay. That's one of the things that I want to discuss here in not only this podcast, but upcoming podcasts as well. The second reason is they don't understand modern retail marketing concepts and tactics. You have to understand over the years, a lot of things have changed in the retail marketing space. The best news of all of this is that the cost of marketing has gone down. The way to reach specific target audiences, whether it's retail, whether you're a distributor trying to reach out to retailers, or you're also a manufacturer, there's a lot more efficient ways to get in front of the target audiences that you want to get in front of today. And as we go through these podcasts, we'll start to talk about that. The third reason that you don't use marketing to grow your sales and customer counts is you don't want to. For whatever reason, you don't want to block out the time. You don't want to allocate the time. You just simply don't do it. You don't want to do it. You're not going to do it. Again, I think that's a mistake, and I'd like to discuss some of the reasons why we might be able to close that gap going forward. Reason number 4, you don't think it's needed. You're happy with your sales and gross margin dollars in your store today. You just don't want to approach it. You don't think it's needed, and you're moving on. Fair enough, but again, with the competitive landscape in the category and the way it's been changing over the last 5 to 10 years, rapidly in the way that competitors are eating and eroding your margins, your thinking may be changing on that a little bit. Reason number 5, you think it's a waste of money. Understood. It could be that the way that your store is operating, you simply cannot carve out the money that you need to devote it to a marketing plan. And therefore, you might jump to the conclusion that it's a waste of money. Reason number 6, you don't use marketing. You view it or think it is simply an expense. And as an expense, you think that that's a bad thing. That's money that should be going into your pocket. So you don't use marketing to drive sales and marketing, or sales and customer counts. Number 7, you think that it cannot be measured. You can't get the ROI on it. Fair comment, but one of the things that you find today is so much more of the marketing programs and tactics that you can use can be directly measured and allocated against the money that you spent. You can also experiment, see what's working, what isn't working, and allocate more of your marketing budget dollars to the things that are working and driving customer counts and sales onto your lot. So that has changed a lot. Number 8, and maybe this may rub people a little bit the wrong way. I'm not picking on anybody. I don't want to pick on anybody, but you basically don't have anything to market. There's really nothing special, differentiated about your store at the moment. That can change, and that's one of the things that we help clients with as well, is how to find those differentiating factors. But if you don't have anything to market, what's the reason for a marketing plan at that point, right? So we've got to get beyond that. Number 9, your stores are really not different than your competitors. And given a choice, between you or somebody else, if there's not much of a difference, not a compelling reason to go to your store versus somebody else, that becomes an issue. And again, we use the D word around here at the Convenience Marketing Group, which is basically differentiate, and differentiate. Make your store a place of retail destination that people will come back to time and time again. We've done it for other clients, and we want to discuss some of the ways and the creative ideas that you can do that don't cost a lot of money, but ways that you can innovate and differentiate your stores. Number 10, your stores are worse than your competitors, and let's hope that that's not true. But if it is, you're certainly going to be losing a lion's share of the business as people go to other stores simply because your store is worse for whatever reasons. It could be pricing, it could be cleanliness, it could be safety, it could be product mix, it could be lack of products on the shelves because of whatever reason. But if your store is worse than your competitors, you're probably not long for being in a lot of trouble as a retailer today. Number 11 is you're waiting for the next, what I call the magical product, to be available to save you. And I say this based on an incident that I saw at a trade show about 2 years ago, where people were basically confronting the presenter. And the underlying issue there was that these retailers were begging, actually very confrontational with the presenter. They wanted the next magical product. And what is the next magical product? What is a magical product? That is a product that you find, it's a high margin product. You put it on your shelf and it basically flies off the shelf with any effort on your part. That is a magical product. And what's happening is more and more those magical products are going away. The reason for that is a lot. Sometimes it's the government and different things. However, the magical product is something that you're relying on, something outside of yourself to help you. And one of the things that I focus on in differentiation is you have to rely on yourself to differentiate your stores, your products, and your services. Reason number 12 that you don't use marketing for your stores is you don't think that you're creative. And another thing that we believe in strongly around here at the Convenience Marketing Group is that everybody's creative, and we just won't accept the fact that somebody will say that they aren't creative or innovative. Everybody is. There's certainly techniques and processes for you to drill down within your store and with your team to make you guys more creative and innovative and find simple things that can differentiate your store and bring people into your stores. And we'll explore those in some future podcasts. Reason number 13 you don't use marketing is you don't have anybody to help you. Very common among retailers today. However, I would suggest that there's probably someone in your organization that's interested in marketing and being creative and innovative and has a little bit of an appetite for doing this for your organization. Most likely they won't have all the skills, but if they have at least 50% of the skills, they might be somebody that's really right for implementing marketing plans and programs within your store. So you can find help, and it usually is there. Reason number 14, you think your competitor's marketing is way ahead of you. So you think, what's the use? And the answer to that is there is value in you starting your marketing today, because there's a snowball effect and things build on one on top of the other after the other. If you just implement simple things, and you can get more complex and more innovative as time goes on. But the key here is to get started with some type of marketing differentiation, things that make your store a retail destination. Number 15 that you don't use marketing plans to drive your sales and customers is that you've never held a basic marketing plan in your hands. Again, fair enough, but these are things that are learnable. When I used to write the marketing plans and the promotional plans for Sheetz and for some other retailers as well, there's a basic format that we use to, kind of extract the thinking out of you and your team. But in my worldview, the reason that you're doing marketing always is to drive customers to your lot. You're driving sales and higher margin items, because that creates a very virtuous circle inside your store where you're able then to do even more innovative things each time you use marketing to build your business. So we'll discuss that more as we go on with these podcasts. Number 16 is you believe that Cokes and Smokes will still get customers inside your store. True enough, however, but as we look at the trends of both tobacco use in America today, as we look at what happens with different types of products inside convenience stores and the trends, we're always looking for higher margin, and we're also looking for new customers to get them on our lot and inside our store. Number 17 is you believe that Amazon Go, and dollar stores now selling gas are a passing fad. They are not. If I was the marketing director at Dollar General stores, I would do exactly what Dollar General stores are doing right now, using their convenient location to basically upset the apple cart and take business away from you. The problem there is that you're not defending your business. I think that a lot of convenience store retailers today have become too passive when it comes to retail marketing, and really just being solid, fundamental retailers that are trying to be innovative and get people on their lots and inside their store with what I think is very aggressive marketing plans and tactics. So that's the 17 that I can think of. There may be more, but underlying the reasons that you don't use marketing plans and concepts to drive people to your store, there's a deeper truth. And here's what that truth is. That some of the most successful retailers today started as one store many years ago. They started with one store. Many of you might be in that position. However, what they initiated that you haven't yet, and that's the operative word, is that they worked every day to create new value for their customers. They differentiated that new value, and then they communicated it to customers, both current and potential new ones, with their marketing plan. The only difference between you and them is what they did then and what you could do today or tomorrow or right now. Once you do that, once you start to differentiate your stores, basically what will start to happen is then customers respond to that by trying out this new value that you're offering. The offer is important. They came to the stores, hopefully it's going to be your store, and they bought stuff. And then they figured out, the customers, that they loved it, that it was differentiated, that it was special, that it was unique, it was innovative, and they did it again and again and again. And even in the convenience store space, the big players of today, they were all smaller retailers years ago. And you need to keep that in the back of your mind to really to instill the confidence so that you can move forward. Because they did it, you can do it too. I've been involved with it. I've seen it. If marketing works every time it's tried, if it's honestly tried. So the bigger guys were all smaller retailers years ago. So what did they really do different? And a lot of times it was just they were more creative and innovative in their approach to being retailers. The theme that you'll see time and time again is that the work they did to create new value, differentiate it, and then market it. That's what they did. And as I mentioned, it works every time it's honestly tried. And you can do this too. You simply have to start today and do it with the resources that you have at hand and can afford. A lot of times you can't afford a big budget at the beginning, so you have to look around and see what, maybe there's somebody in your organization that's 50% of what you need with marketing that can help you. Tap into that person, right? Whatever resources that you have, both inside and outside of your organization, and people that want to get involved with your marketing, tap them, use them. Start small, and then start to get a ripple effect or a domino effect with each time you do some type of marketing tactic. Again, you're not going to start full blown. You can only start small with the resources that you have at hand and can afford. And then as your marketing starts to gain traction and sales success, you're going to gather more steam and more resources and more momentum. And you'll feel this start to happen too. And that's when it really starts to get fun, and you really can start to compete, and even against the bigger boys and bigger players. And there will be a point where you're getting strong enough where you even start to, what I call, kick a little convenience store ass or butt. And that's when it really starts to get fun. When I think back when I wrote the marketing and promotional plans for Sheetz, and when I worked at the ad agency for them, it was around 1983 to 2000, I created and implemented my own set of 25 marketing tactics that helped catapult retail convenience store growth. And in my recently published marketing manifesto for convenience stores, I outlined them for any convenience store retailer that wants to use them, whether you have 5 stores or 155. So feel free to email me for a free copy of that. And I believe that it'll change your business life. I'm so confident in that I guarantee it. So you can email me at Tim Lazar at Comcast.net. Now, my name is spelled TimLaz as in zebra OR at Comcast.net. You can also check us out at conveniencemarketing.net. You can also Google for our blog, which would be Lazar Yost blog or convenience store marketing group. You should be able to find it. And finally, I just leave you this final thought for those of you that are non-believers who think, it's just still too late to begin my own marketing program. And I know that a lot of you out there think that and believe it. You think that everybody has too much of a head start on you. I contend that that's not true, because every day people are starting businesses, they're starting marketing plans, and they end up winning sooner than they thought they would. And I hope and I wish that for you as well. So there's a famous question that you've probably seen asked before: when is the best time to plant a tree? And I would make the direct parallel between what's the best time to start a marketing plan to grow your customer counts and your sales in your convenience store. The answer to that is 20 years ago and today. So what I would recommend is you plant your tree and you light your fuse and start it today. Again, my name is Tim Lazar. You can reach me at timlazar@comcast.net. You can reach us at the conveniencemarketinggroup.net website. You can check out our podcast if you just Google for that as well. And you can give me a call at 412-423-0044. I'd be happy to help answer any questions that you have. I wish you success, and I look forward to our next joining with our podcast. Thanks for your time.